You know the drill. Hit me with the catch. Let's get our hands dirty. Look at the catch cam. So basically, there are three limits on the section 179, and yeah, you have to check them annually for inflation because every time the threshold, the limits number is different. So let's go through this. The first one is dollar limits. So basically, it's the maximum deduction allowed. So as I'm recording these videos for I think 2024, it's approximately a little bit more than 1 million US dollars. I think it's 1,200,000 something. Okay, and for every year we'll index for inflation. So right now for the foreseeable future, it's just a little bit 1 million US dollars. Okay, that's the maximum deduction allowed. That's the dollar limit. Okay, recently it's the 1,200,000 something, 220, I think. But yeah, every year it will change. So I'm not writing this number. While you're watching this, check the latest indexed adjusted limits. Right? And so there's a dollar limit, 1,220,000, say that's the amount, US dollars. And if you exceed that limit, and that amount must be depreciated normally. You can't just one-time write off all that. Okay? That's the hard annual cap. Remember, it will be adjusted. And the second limit is the investment limit. So basically, when you purchase your total equipment purchase, once it reach that investment limit, as I'm recording this video, is approximately 3 million US dollars. Okay? And then, once you exceed that, your deduction will phase out. Okay? I know it's maybe a little bit hard to understand. So what is phase out? And is phase out dollar for dollar. So that means, okay, let me just give you an example. For every US dollars that you spend above that 3 million-ish limits, your maximum 179 deduction is reduced. So basically, after you exceed that threshold in your investment, you can't buy everything and buy like limited thing, right? There is a limit. Once you higher, you buy more and more, right? You exceed that threshold. For one more US dollars that you spend in buying all this deduction phase out, reduce that $1. So dollar for dollar. Add one, deduct one. Add one, reduce one. Add one, reduce one. So basically it's a phase out dollar for dollar. $1 exceed the limit, $1 less in the dollar limit. Okay? So, for example, if you spend say 100,000 US dollars over the limit, then your maximum deduction is reduced by 100,000 US dollars. So let me rephrase that. If you exceed the limit, over the limit by 100,000 US dollars, then your maximum deduction is reduced by 100,000 US dollars. Yeah. So as you guys can see, if you reach a certain point, that dollar limit, that section 179 deduction will be completely phased out. So basically it will be reduced to zero. Okay? So you can see how this section 179 work dynamically. So basically it's not just hey, this is a hard limit. Once that, you can't do that, right? But rather it's a dynamic process. If you do this more, it will reduce the benefit that you will get. all the way until you reach to 0. So it's completely phased out. So that gives us a gentle nudge that don't over invest. Okay, because if you over invest, you're going to reduce. If you over invest to that certain amount that IRS think that is reasonable, right? And if you increase the investment, they're going to reduce the benefits. They say, hey, that's not good. Come on, you can't do that. I'm going to reduce the benefit that you are going to get all the way to no benefit at all. Okay, you can see how this power dynamic working. That's good. That's the second investment limit. And of course, the third, pretty simple. It's just the business income limit. So basically, you can't deduct more than your taxable business income. Okay? That makes sense. Come on, you can't deduct more than your taxable business income, right? So basically, you can't like one shot and get everything deducted. Okay, that's a general rule of thumb. Okay, yeah, pretty simple, huh? So just 3 limits on section 179.